So I started off by prepping my eyelids with a nude eye primer, using my fingers to apply this all over the eyelids up to the eyebrows. I chose a bronzy gold cream eyeshadow and applied this, again using my fingers, all over the moving part of my lid. And then blended it up over the crease a little, first with my fingers and then with a short kabuki brush. I then ran a little bit of the gold eyeshadow underneath the lower lashes and used the eye kabuki brush again just to blend this out. I picked a light beige gold eyeshadow and applied this with a small eyeshadow brush to the inner third of my upper eyelids in a patting motion to pack on the colouring. I then chose more of an old gold colour and applied this to the rest of the eyelids, blending it in with that first eyeshadow colour. And then I blend this up over the crease using a loose eyeshadow blending brush. I applied the same eyeshadows to the lower lash line using a smudge brush, and I applied a matte nude eyeshadow to the upper eyelid area underneath my eyebrow. Using the same blending brush from before, I applied a really light blonde brown eyeshadow above the metallic eyeshadows to blend it up into the nude eyeshadow. Next, I had packed on a gorgeous white gold iridescent highlighter to the very inner corners of my eyes to really help brighten up the area. For my eyebrows, I'm using a dark neutral brown eyebrow shadow, close enough to the colours of my natural brows. I'm using this to fill in the area, particularly paying attention to the areas that I'm growing out, so I am going largely over the skin. And I added a waterproof black eyeliner to my waterlines, as well as tightlining my upper waterlines. I used the same pencil eyeliner and drew a little bit of an eyeliner shape above the outer half of my upper lash line to add some definition. And then I chose a really dark warm brown eyeshadow. This one's matte, and I packed this onto the outer third of my upper lid and then blended it in with the rest of the eyeshadows. And then going back to my blending brush again, I use this to blend some of the dark brown into the crease of my eyelid, adding extra depth. I applied several coats of mascara to both my top and my bottom eyelashes. So once the eyes were done, I moved on to the skin. I've started off with a primer as I'm using a really heavy full coverage foundation. My skin is still really blotchy and kind of weird looking here because of my second IPL or photo rejuvenation treatment that I had only a couple of days beforehand. So I do need a full coverage foundation here just to cover everything up. I applied this first with my fingers and spread it out over the face, and then I used a flat top kabuki and buffed this in around the eye makeup and into the rest of my face. I used a smaller foundation or concealer brush to work the foundation in around my eyebrows so it wouldn't ruin the shape that I had already created. And then I applied a brightening under eye concealer to the darkest areas and used a synthetic buffer brush to buff this in around the eye. I I'm using a full coverage concealer here as well, so I apply some to the back of my hand first to warm up the product, and then using the same buffing or blending brush, I use this to apply it to any areas on my face that need a little bit more coverage. I powdered my base then once everything was blended in, just to keep everything in place, and then I used a gorgeous warm coral powder blusher, and I used this to add definition to my cheeks, focusing mainly on the bottom of my cheekbones, and then brought it up into the hairline. And I applied an iridescent highlighter with the same brush to the top of my cheekbones to add a little bit more dimension to the face. I prepped my lips first with a lip primer to help make sure that any colour I put on lasts longer, and then I used a nude neutral lip liner pencil just to help outline my lips a little bit and really define the shape. And I finished off the look then with a tinted lip balm. Fixed out my hair, and that's the finished look. Thanks a million, guys. Take care. Slán!